All right, guys. So I'm here with IBB Pro Hunter Labrada, top top five bodybuilder on the planet, probably weighing 300 plus pounds, close to it. Yeah. So Hunter, man, you're not on stage this year. So I think it's the first time since you've been competing as a pro, you haven't been on stage at the Olympia. So tell us how it feels.
Man, I'm not gonna lie. It feels like a little bit of a punch in the gut, but that's always a good thing. We'll go home and get back to work. That being said, I didn't come here and act all shitty and sour about it. I came here wanting to embrace being a fan and supporting the boys and being a part of a weekend that I truly haven't really been super present for the last 5 years. You know how it goes when you're actually competing. So came here. I've been a fan of bodybuilding all my life. I get to be a fan this year, and then we'll be back to it next year.
So when you were sitting there last night watching the fellas on stage, were you thinking, man, I could be up there in the middle of that?
Yeah, man, you always watch and you think you know where you're gonna be. So I was watching last night, taking notes, and we'll be back up there.
What's the next competition?
So I had shoulder surgery 4 months ago. For anyone that doesn't know, so we're getting that rolling still, but depending on how long it takes that to get going, and it's getting better every day right now. I'm thinking something May, June next year.
So the shoulders healing up good, back training hard, and you haven't lost any size, that's for sure.
No, yeah, this last year has been really cool. It's been a little eye opening about how neurotic I was being about a lot of things. I truly took a step back and let go a little bit. And I thought I was going to lose like 30 pounds in like 4 months, and I lost like 4 pounds. So it's I'm close to the biggest I've ever been, and I'm not like really because anytime I've ever been like the biggest I've ever been, it's always been like white knuckling it with the food and the training and everything else. But right now it's comfortable and I'm close to it.
So, we talked earlier and you took a break physically because you need to get your shoulder fixed and also mentally. Tell us about how much of the mental aspect plays into it. And sometimes, yeah, your body needs a break, but sometimes mental is even more important.
Yeah, absolutely. So, I think anyone that's been doing this for a while will tell you if your mind ain't right, your body won't be right. No matter what you do, you can try and squeeze water out of a rock, but it won't happen. So, taking a step back this year, having the shoulder fixed, I was really able to, focus on things I haven't been able to focus on for the last 5 years because I've just been so locked in on bodybuilding. I was able to, strengthen relationships with my family, strengthen relationships with my faith, do a little bit more, be a little bit more human, enjoy a year. And then, subsequently it kind of made me realize how much I do love this and miss doing it the way that I was doing it. So
sometimes when you miss it, it's not your. Sometimes when you miss competing, it's not by choice. I think you realize you don't take it for granted. You really appreciate it.
And that's taking it for granted. It's one of those things. The first 5 years, I was doing what I was supposed to. It was never like, am I gonna make it or this or that? It was no, that's what I was supposed to do. And never really stopped to smell the roses. So this year, the fact that I wasn't able to, even if I wanted to, it kind of really kind of raised an eyebrow for me about no, you do love this, you are passionate about it, it is not a job, it is it's your life's work. So I'm looking forward to getting back to my life's work.
We know you've been as high as fourth at the Mr. Olympia competition. So what do you have to do to take this whole thing?
Get gnarly conditioned. I feel like I have about all the size that I need at this point. We just got to refine it, and I got to come in truly peeled, and not only truly peeled, but actually hit my peak Friday and Saturday.
Being fourth in the Olympia, what I'm about to say, I've never, even when you got fourth, I've never seen you 100%. And I think that says something because I think you at 100% it's going to be real hard for anybody on the planet to beat you.
Yeah, all bets are off if I put it up there 100% both days, and that's what I'm planning on doing this year.
Well, I agree. So let's back it up a little bit. So you have a daughter, so she's a gymnast, and so tell me about that aspect when you have the family, you have kids, and then you still have to get up and do your cardio and train and do the diet and all that. How does that? How much more stressful is that than and how do you work that dynamic?
I wouldn't use the word stress. I think I'd use the word I have to be more aware of my time management. You know how it goes. You do a million things in every single day, but you can get lost in bodybuilding. And at the end of the day, I've told a lot of people this recently. I've had about as much success as you can have on bodybuilding stage for the last 7 years, as an amateur and a pro. And, it didn't bring me the sense of fulfillment that my family brings me or that being with my daughter brings me. So being centered like that and, really never losing sight of what's important was, one of the biggest things that came out of this year.
Well, I agree with that. I saw you compete for the first time at my show down in Houston, and you won that show, won the overall. I believe you were heavyweight, and won the overall also. And
the only show I've ever had to make weight for in my life.
I remember seeing you on stage, and I remember thinking, this kid's going to go a long ways. Obviously, I knew your dad since the time I was a teenager, and I was sitting there with him. He said, "What do you think?" I go, "Man, Hunter was walking away with this one," and I said, "He's going to go a long ways." And you did make me. You made my prediction come true, so I appreciate you.
Crystal Ball was right.
When did you come on with Gasp and Better Buddies?
I was thinking about this the other day. I could be wrong about this, but I think I'm the longest tenured active guy. Unless Sean was before me. Was Sean before me? I was 2017.
I think it's you and Sean. I don't know who's been there longer, but yeah. As far as there's guys that have been there longer, but they're not active. Yeah. So yeah, so you've been there getting close to a decade. So I just want to.
You're getting old.
You ain't old yet, brother. So I like the haircut though. So how much longer are you going to do this? When do you see, or do you even know?
Man, I have no clue. I have no clue. You know how it goes every single time we walk in the gym, something can happen. But, Lord willing, and he lets me do it as long as I want to. I see myself doing it another 4 or 5 years for sure.
So how big of or does your dad play a role in your prep or advice, or just, is he just your biggest fan?
Man, he's always my biggest fan. He's always been that. But, in a prep setting, I think the biggest, role that he plays has probably helped me with my posing. And then the second one is, having been there and done that, at the level that I do it at, he's able to really, talk me through the mental aspect of it, keep me focused, let me get too far down a rabbit hole or too worried about like how I'm looking or if I'm coming in right, just kind of keeps me centered. Good sounding board. Well,
your dad was the ultimate professional, and I can't think of a better role model. Not just a bodybuilder, but just as a man than your father. So I have ultimate respect for him. And
you ain't too bad yourself.
Well, I looked up to him for a lot of that. So he was super good to me as a kid, and I never forgot that and appreciate it. So I've known you. You don't remember it, but I said this other night in the podcast. I've known you since you were in diapers. So, but thank you for coming out. And Hunter will be available for pictures and autographs. So if you guys want to get a picture with him, but on behalf of Gasp and Better Bodies, thank you, my man. And I can't wait to see you back on the stage.
Absolutely. Thanks for listening, guys.